Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fallen London. Today we're going to be carrying on with May's exceptional story, The Queen of the Elephants. We have just come up to a mansion. The old man who's dreaming of this place is going to wake up soon, says the mouse. We don't have much time. You tiptoe through the grand gardens. The mansion's doors are locked, but one of Queen Mary's acolytes jimmies it open in a matter of seconds. I'll wait out here, says the querulous mouse, quickly hopping into some nearby topiary. The mansion is vast and opulent, and apparently empty. Your footsteps ring upon patterned marble. There'll be a vault, says Queen Mary. Trust me, there's always a vault. He's right. The vault door has pride of place in the atrium. A vast iron construction with 16 locks and a complex arrangement of wheels, each with spokes pointing at different pictures of farmyard animals. Don't think about it too hard, says Queen Mary. The security systems in Parabola never make much sense. Looking up, you catch sight of a silhouetted figure watching from an overlooking balcony. Oh, don't mind him, says Queen Mary. That's just the dreamer, greedy old miser that he is. But dreamers are powerless to stop us. So we can either help the elephants break into the vault. You know a little about jimmying tumblers and shimming catches and the like. We can observe the thieves at work. How are they going to manage this? We can steal some of the dream treasure for yourself. Might as well see if you can get away with it. We can clamber up and speak to the dreamer. What does he think of his dreams being plundered? Not a fan, by the looks of things. Let's go talk to the man. Some of the elephants get to work picking the locks. Meanwhile, Queen Mary fiddles with the wheels until all of the spokes are pointing at sheep. He catches your expression. Dream logic, she says with a dismissive shrug. 15 minutes later, and the vault door yawns open, revealing a mountain of glimmering gold and jewels. The elephants whoop with pleasure and stream inside, filling their petticoats. Meanwhile, you clamber up and sit beside the miser, ignoring the suspicious glances from Queen Mary. Up close, he's clearly a man whose best years are just memories. He has trouble dragging his gaze away from the elephants, who are working on his fortune like ants on sugar. How could you? The old man mutters, his voice cracking. That's all I have. The miser's anguished plea is still echoing in your head hours later. As you finish the much more direct trek back through Parabola and arrive at the elephant's castle, the lady thieves are staggering under the weight of all their loot. And that's how it's done, says Queen Mary, once the treasure has been heaped before her throne and counted up. Now comes the fun part, spending it. Let's ask about the dream treasure. How long does it last after leaving the Parabola? Not long, says Queen Mary cheerfully, but long enough to spend if you're quick about it. That's why we always throw a party as soon as we get back to London. We only have a day or two to buy as much wine and finery as we can carry. Some people might think that unethical, you carefully suggest. Stuff and nonsense, declares Queen Mary. Isn't all currency imaginary when you stop to think about it? Ooh, that's a rather smart way of justifying your crimes. Right, let's ask for a share of the spoils. You're practically one of the gang now, right? Oh my. Why, of course, declares Queen Mary, snaking an arm around your shoulders. Spending time with you has been a riot. We should do this more often, don't you think? She hands you the same share that the other elephants get, a heaping of oddly shaped coins and unpleasantly textured jewels. She keeps the lion's share for herself, of course. We got some interesting things there. But let's return to the other side. Our stay in Parabola has finally come to an end. Time to return to the waking world. Soon enough, you're back in the dusty warehouse where the elephants have made their real-world home. It's especially unimpressive, having just visited their imaginary castle. Queen Mary has been as good as her word, however, and contrived to bring the immense heap of treasure back with her. A few of the coins are already fading at the edges. "It's party o'clock! No time to waste!" trills Queen Mary. She turns to you sharply. "Come on, get the blindfold on, and we'll get you out of here." We can either happily don the blindfold, the strip of rough cloth slips over your eyes and tightens, the world vanishes, or we can sneak a glance at the street. As you're led out of the warehouse, you resolve to surreptitiously peek under the blindfold and get a good eyeful of your surroundings. Let's do that. As you are led out of the warehouse, you sneak a peek. A church, some cobblestones. That's as much as you are able to glean, but it's better than nothing. After that, it's the same as before, all walking, eyes covered. Soon enough, it becomes clear that you're back in Vale Garden, from both the sounds, coffee cups, clinking, highbrow conversation, and smells. Cheap perfume, poorly masking body odour. In Ladybones Road, the perfume would be expensive, while in Spite, they wouldn't bother to mask anything. When the blindfold is whipped from your face, you find yourself standing outside the troubled past, a poky little Vale Garden pub. Some of the partygoers have already arrived. You recognise that monkey. "Can't go back to the singing mandrake," says Queen Mary, nudging you conspiratorially. "Something about all our money disappearing from the till. I feel that you're eventually going to run out of places to go party, right?" Wine flows, music streams out into the street. The elephants, hangers-on, turn up in their droves to enjoy the festivities. At some point, Queen Mary and a few of her elephants slip out to sell off the loot before it vanishes. When they come back, they're wearing fashionable new clothes and bedecked in sparkling new jewellery. And the partygoers greet their return with a roar of approval. Well, let's take the chance to interrogate Queen Mary. She's already drunk enough wine to kill a small goat, but she seems perfectly well composed. Still, perhaps she'll let something slip. The monkey's back, and he's gotten out of hand. As the elephants rush off to deal with the aftermath, there's a rare moment where Queen Mary is alone. You take the chance to approach her. After buttering her up with some careful flattery, you ask about the monster she dreams of in her castle, chasing her down the corridors. What exactly is it? Queen Mary stares at you for a moment, then takes a generous gulp of wine. "The Red Woman, I called her," says Queen Mary quietly. "I've been dreaming of her since I was old enough to remember." She pauses. "As I grew up and was trying to carve a niche for myself in the underworld, I realized it wasn't enough to be incredibly intelligent and beautiful. I needed to be terrifying." She grins wolfishly, waving her hand over her made-up face. "So I decided to model myself after my own childhood nightmare. Soon after that, I found my way into Parabola, and the castle was waiting for me. But no Red Woman. I assume I must have been dreaming of my own future self." As the evening drags on, it becomes clear that this is a party whose length is measured not in hours, but in days. Other than the change of scenery, it feels like you've stepped back in the time to the first of Queen Mary's parties you attended. Same people, same music, same jokes. Queen Mary navigates the party's currents like a proud swan, surrounded at all times by her loyal elephants. You can either overindulge. You just had to trek through a jungle. You've earned this party. Or we can slip away. Your business here is done. Let's overindulge. Just like the elephants, you're well and truly caught up in the Queen Mary's orbit. For nearly a week, your life is one long party, punctuated by whirlwind trips to pawnbrokers and fashion shops to spend as much of your ill-gotten loot as possible. You snatch a few hours of sleep here and there, usually face down on a sticky table, but by the time the party winds down, you are thoroughly exhausted, and your hangover is crushing. "Hell, this was fun," says Queen Mary, drawing you into an embrace. Even with the makeup, she looks deeply tired. "We should absolutely do this again sometime." She says that final sentence with utter insincerity of someone with zero intention of ever seeing you again. And indeed, she doesn't ask you to join her on another expedition. Apparently that was a one-time, spur-of-the-moment invitation. But we made a friend, which is always worth it, right? A dream visit. Tonight, your dreams are interrupted by an unannounced visitor, but we also have reporting Queen Mary to the constables. Let's go with the dream visitor first, because we've just had a massive bender, so let's sleep it off. Tonight, your dreams are interrupted by an unannounced visitor. It takes a moment to recognize him. It's the old miser whose dreams of riches you helped Queen Mary to plunder. You're standing in the freezing darkness of his empty vault. "Thief!" hisses the old man. "She's lying to you, thief! I'll prove it. His mansion exists on the other side too. Come find it, and I'll show you how she lies." The vault seems to grow around you. Infinite darkness stretching in every direction. We can wake up, but if we had the Cosmogon spectacles, we could have told him to get out of our brain. I think I need to find these Cosmogon spectacles. I think I have to change my job. Not the worst dream you've ever had, not by a long shot, but still discomforting. Let's wake up. As you lie in bed, stewing on your strange dream, you find yourself still unaccountably cold despite the blankets. It's as though a part of you is still trapped in that freezing, cavernous vault. That old man told you that the Queen Mary was lying and asked you to track down his mansion. It couldn't hurt to see what he has to say. Let's track down the old miser's mansion. In Parabola, you had the querulous mouse to guide you, even if it did steer you wrong for a while. In London, you have no such help. There are plenty of rickety old mansions to choose from, but you'd recognize the place if you saw it again. That's a plus. Okay, so we have two options. We can either leverage our connections. You know some people in high places, some own mansions, or are in the business of selling them. Perhaps they can help. That's using our favours with society. If we had a rat-work velocipede, we could jump onto our velocipede and crisscross all over the city, searching manically for the mansion at eye-watering speeds. Well, I do not have a rat-work velocipede, so let's leverage our connections. You happen to have an acquaintance at Falstaffian landholder, who is charming enough, if a little uncouth. He listens intently as you describe the mansion, then nods. "I know exactly where you're talking about," he says. "Just east of Watchmaker's Hill. Looked into buying it once, actually, but the owner's a bastard. Here, I'll show you on the map." Well, that was easy enough. Staring up at the mansion, you're pleased to see that it is nearly identical to the one you saw in Parabola. Now you just need to go and knock. Before you can do so, however, you hear a meaningful cough behind you. Turning, you find yourself face to face with the miser from your dreams, except he's sitting in the gutter, wearing patchwork old clothes, with his worldly possessions in a box at his feet. Ask the old man if this is actually his mansion. It certainly doesn't seem so. "I told you," sighs the old man, gripping your hands in his. "She's lying to you. I'm no miser, I don't even have a home. You notice his filth-black fingernails, the calluses on his palm. If this is a wealthy man in disguise, he's done a better job of it than should be possible. Queen Mary's not stealing dreams from rich people, says the hopeless vagrant bitterly. It's not them who dream of riches. They don't need to. It's us, the destitute. We're the poor bastards she's taking everything from. Every day I beg, here, and look at that mansion, and I think, what if? And now I can't even dream of a better life. When I go to sleep, it's just emptiness. He stands quietly before you, searching your face for a sign of pity or understanding. Ask how his dream self managed to track you down. That's quite an impressive trick. In my former life, I was a silverer, he says. But Parabola can be a harsh place. Something inhabited my skin for a while. When I regained control of myself, most of my memories had been eaten. That's how I ended up out here, on the street. He offers you a mischievous, gap-toothed grin. But I still remember a few tricks of the old trade. Let's ask about his stolen dreams of riches. How much did they mean to him? They were all I had, says the vagrant simply. And I'm not the only one. I have plenty of friends on the street who've had their dreams stolen by the 40 elephants. Though until now, I didn't realise that's what was happening. They just told me their dreams were gone. I have a plan, he says quietly. We're getting revenge on Queen Mary. Maybe even getting our dreams back. Let's hear out his plan for revenge. He doesn't look like a man with much left to lose. And we won't be obligated to help him after hearing his plan. Queen Mary is messing with Parabola forces she doesn't comprehend, he says quietly. Forces that even in my heyday I didn't understand much either. But I know one thing. Her luck can't last. If we can trap her in Parabola and call the attention of the thing she's trying to imitate, our problem will take care of itself. He hesitates. Though I won't lie, it will be dangerous. Getting something like that to do our bidding, it may blow up in our faces. But we have to try before someone else gets their dreams stolen. So we could offer to help him. Someone needs to take her down a peg. This is an important choice. Queen Mary will consider you her enemy after this. You may want to speak to her first. Okay, let's go back. Let's not side with the hopeless vagrant yet. Let's talk to the Queen Mary. You track her to the high-end boutique in Ladybones Road, trying on ball gowns. She's already made 2 of the shop assistants cry by the time you arrive. Her loyal elephants are nowhere to be seen. Oh, it's you, says Queen Mary, archly. What do you want? Well, let's ask her about the vagrant's claims. How does she explain herself? Queen Mary spends a long moment weighing up the relative merits of confessing to her sins or doubling down on the lies. In the end, she opts for the former. What does it matter? She says with a silvery laugh. Beggars or misers? What's the difference? It's only dreams. I haven't stolen anything real. Queen Mary has lost all interest in ball gowns. The shop assistants fuss around her, delicately trying to extricate themselves from her orbit so they can serve other customers. But she cows them with a glance. Go on then, she says, looking you up and down. You're either with the elephants or against us. Make your choice. Excuse me while I go and talk to the police. Report Queen Mary to the constables. I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but I'm going to try. The nearest constable station is a squat little office that smells strongly of damp, its walls papered with wanted posters to hide the cracks. A portly calico cat sitting at the reception desk hisses as you approach. Don't mind old Bill, he's just upset because we've put him on a diet, says the constable behind the desk. How may I help you? We can explain Queen Mary's thefts to the constables. His expression brightens when you tell him you've worked out how Queen Mary and the 40 elephants are committing their crimes. The constable calls in his sergeant, and the two of them listen with brows furrowed as you explain everything. The castle in Parabola, the querulous mouse, the dream vault. The sergeant removes his helmet, revealing his bald head in a faintly obscene manner, and scratches behind his ear. This is a pretty tall story, even by my standards, he grunts. And trust me, working as a copper in London, you hear some tall stories. A crime is certainly being committed, but how do we prosecute it? After a moment, the sergeant shrugs and redons his helmet. Sorry, mate, but I'm not sure if we could be as much help. This is a little above our level, to be honest. You know, I thought that was going to happen, but it was worth a try. Oh, hello. As you leave, the station's portly cat jumps down and follows you out. In the alley outside, it hops up onto a wall. Psst, it says, Oi! Oh, So we got two options. We can stop and talk to old Bill. The constables are of no use, but perhaps their cat can be more helpful. Or we can hurry away. He wouldn't be caught dead in a conversation with a creature that licks its own privates. Right, let's stop and talk to old Bill. I heard what you were saying in there, says old Bill, scratching behind his ear in a manner uncannily similar to his owner. We've had our eyes on Queen Mary a long time, we have. Who? The constables? No, us cats, says old Bill impatiently. Listen, mate, Queen Mary is messing around with things she don't understand. She's thumbing her nose at one of the worst powers in Parabola without even realising it. He pauses to swat a fly as it buzzes past. Once the poor insect has escaped, he turns his attention back to you. Parabola's a dream palace, you understand. It works on symbolic resonances, not logic. You can steal a bit of something's power by imitating it. For a while, because Parabola will be tricked into thinking that you are what you pretend to be. But if you do it for long enough, you'll attract the notice of the original. And then, well, I wouldn't want to be in her shoes. So what does old Bill advise? Stay away from Queen Mary and wait for the situation to resolve itself, shrugs old Bill, in a spectacularly gruesome fashion, if I'm any judge. Okay, so I'm going to have to make a choice between the Queen Mary or the hopeless vagrant, but I think I'm going to leave that for the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Who do you think we should side with? Queen Mary or the hopeless vagrant? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.